Yeah, it's time to lock in. So I'm sure most of your exams are upcoming. So for me as a JC student, my WA1 is very soon. Or maybe you're preparing for your mid-year exam, end of year exam, or maybe your national exams. So it's very stressful, I know. I also really haven't started on my revision, and it's time to lock in, but most people, they are not sure how to start studying and how they should revise. So today I will share with you how those top students that I've observed get such good grades in such a short period of time to revise. And this technique is called the revision timetable, and this technique will help you incorporate spaced repetition into it, and I'll talk more about the science of spaced repetition after I walk you through how I create my own personal revision timetable for my weighted assessment. Okay, so I'll be walking through with you how I plan my revision right now. Okay, I will be talking about the revision timetable, and I'll walk through how I do it on my iPad. So first of all, what you need to do is you go to your calendars, you take a screenshot of the duration, like the period of your exams. So let's say for me it's in April, and then after that you copy it out, you save it in your photos, you go to your notes, you create a new note, you put a picture inside. So first of all, I need the days that you are not free, like it's already over, the days are already over. The first step of your revision timetable is to put down your tests, like the most important thing. Put it in red because they are the most important. For me, I have a GP test this week on 5 April, WA1. So now we know that all our exam dates. So these are all the important dates to remember, because they are your tests and we need to get an A, okay? So now what we need to do is write down all the non-negotiable events that you have to partake. So that is like school, extracurricular activities such as CCA, or any external events, family outings that you are going on. So for me, I have school, and then now I'll use another color to write different events. So I have CCA on Monday, and Wednesday rock climbing for every week. Something I can't change about it. Now you need to put out the activities, fun activities, like things that you already plan, like outings you are going out with family. So let's say for me, every Saturday I will be going out with my family for some hiking trip. And yes, so now these are the remaining days that you have towards your exams. So now we need to do the revision, the spaced repetition technique. How you do that is you take you see GP, right? Use a different color first. So GP. Always put studying the day before for the first block, GP. Okay? And then after that, you leave one space, like 1 day spacing, and then you write another block here. So that's your next study session. And then that's done for GP. And then you rinse and repeat for for your rest of the subjects. Let's say for H2 math, right? You'll be on the 14th to study. Let's see, math. And then 1 day gap, it'll be math. And then 2 days gap, it'll be math. And then a 3 days gap, 1, 2, 3. And so it's math here. Okay? Try not to put like subjects, 2 subjects together, unless you really have a lot of time on that day, because you don't want to make it so hard for yourself too. But after you finish all that, this will be your revision timetable. Now we need to make some touches to it, the details. For math, we have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 days to study for math. Okay, so how can we do this? So you need to know how many chapters there are for each test. So for my math, we only cover 3 chapters. So for me, I prefer to take each day as 1 chapter. So this one is chapter 1 of studying. This one, chapter 2. chapter 3. And then last one is all 3 chapters. But if you do not like that, you can put chapter 1 to 3, but you do light revision for all of them, and then you keep repeating that. So it depends on personal preference. And for econs, you do the same thing. You just break it down into the chapters and see what you need to revise and what you want to focus more on. So for example, let's say for my math, right, my chapter 1 is not good. I'll just put more days. I'll just change. I'll just add another chapter 1 inside so that I can have more time spent on chapter 1. And you rinse and repeat for all the other chapters, all the other subjects such as chemistry, physics, econs. And this is how you create your revision timetable. I hope that this helps. What is spaced repetition? Spaced repetition is just a study technique that includes interleaving the study session from leaving a gap between your study sessions so that you can reinforce the memory and information that you have absorbed. This is very helpful because there is a forgetting curve. It just shows how much you forget within a period of time, and that's not good because we do not want to forget our information that we learn. So in order to combat this, we need to use spaced repetition to help us reinforce what we have learned, help us better recall them. Spaced repetition is just simply put just to do more reps. The more you study different time at different periods of time, your forgetting curve, the rate of forgetting will be much lesser. And then over time, let's say you do it consistently for a year, on the day 1, your rate of forgetting will be from here to here, just forgetting almost everything in, let's say, just 2 days. However, after using spaced repetition for consistently for a year, your rate of forgetting you'll barely forget anything, even it is after 1 week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. This is due to the powerful effect of spaced repetition. So make sure to use this technique well for your exams. I'll share with you the benefits. The first benefit is that really helped me with the spaced repetition is that it gives you so much less anxiety and stress for the upcoming examination. Because most students, right, when they cram, they feel extremely stressful, and the quality of their study session will be impacted by the stress and anxiety, and you can't even get any work done. So if you break it down into small chunks and use spaced repetition, there'll be so much less anxiety for you because you know that you're consistent and it's much easier to study. Okay, relating to my second point, the benefit is that you will have more motivation to start studying. Why? Because it's so much easier to sit down and study for a chapter for just 1 hour compared to studying the whole syllabus in 12 hours, trying to cram everything in. It's just not manageable. So when you use spaced repetition, it forces you to break things down into small chunks of study periods, and you'll feel much easier to start studying and won't have that that high barrier of motivation to start. The third benefit is, and you will have more time studying using spaced repetition, because compared to those students who only increase their studying time for, let's say, 8 hours before the week before your exams, you have already studied an average of, let's say, just 2 hours or 1 hour every single day consistently over a long period of time, and that compounds, and eventually at the end you will definitely, in the long term, you will study much more than them, than they could ever catch up. So that's why you need to be consistent and track your studies and use spaced repetition. The last benefit is personally one of my favorite. It helps prepare you for the future exams, not just the exam you're taking, but for future exams. So for me as a J1 student here, the main objective of JC is to get a good score for A-levels. So right now, studying for my WA1, most people, they cram for WA1, they score okay, and then after 2-3 months next year, in J2, they will forget everything they learned in chapter 1. So using spaced repetition to track your studies will help you reinforce the memory of chapter 1 even after 2 years. And when you're sitting for your A-levels or any like long-term examination, you will still remember what you have studied using spaced repetition before, like long time ago. So that's why it's very important to start early, and so that you won't forget anything you learn. Okay, so I hope that you can try out this technique for yourself and see if it works. I'm sure it'll work. And yeah, I know there's multiple ways based on your preference and how you want to implement these techniques. So there are websites like flashcards like Remnote or Anki that will help you automatically set a time interval for you to redo your flashcard. And there's other physical ways where you physically track your studies and see how well you do and gauge the time gap between your next study session. So both of them are very effective, and it's based on personal preference. And this is one of the techniques I've covered in my book. It will be releasing soon, and I hope that you can check it out soon. So I just want to say thank you for sticking around to watch this video, and I hope that you score well in whatever exam you do. And yeah, all the best to me too in my WA1. JC is extremely stressful. Yes, peace bro. Remember to be obsessed, stay driven, and remember that you're destined for greatness.